thing going on the New York Times, except
including
Trump story, to be honest. Not just Trump story.
But you know that one is like a whole lot of story as well.
All right, so by the left side of the newspaper, we have Napoleon's edge over a border along China, a sign of AI's push to expand and control. By the left side of the newspaper, in final days, campaign diverge in ground game. Harris revs up the turnout machine as Trump tries an unproven alliance. Middle of the newspaper, California aims to Trump-proof climate rules. That's the one that is quite interesting to me, which I'll talk on later. All right, but the next to that, that's next to the middle, the newspaper, we have the feeling pent in. Trump rants as donors over lack of money. Bottom of the newspaper, policies to rise fertility rates haven't produced baby booms. So the last headline on the newspaper is next to the bottom, next to the the newspaper and the bottom of the newspaper, and we have there billions in tax break dictates film locations and test the crews. All right, the headline I want to quickly touch. I already said that before, which is the California aims to Trump-proof climate rules. So California is working to protect its strong environmental and climate policies from being weakened if Donald Trump returns as president, as he has promised to roll back climate regulations. The state is using strategies like creating new laws and filing lawsuits that would help shield its climate initiatives from federal interference. Since California is a leader in setting strict emissions rules, which other states and even countries like China and the European Union often follow, its climate policies have a global impact. So by Trump-proofing these laws, California aims to continue pushing for cleaner energy and reduce emissions, even if federal rules are relaxed. This begs a question. If a state is trying to do everything possible to ensure that their state is secured, how sure are we that other states are secured as well against the coming precedents that we foresee? I mean, it is one thing to say that, oh, okay, we want our country, we want our state to be better. I mean, if you check the history of California, you know that it's one of the, raising economy that have been doing so well. I mean, you would actually even think it's a country on its own. You don't know that it's a state under the United States. You get what I'm saying? Because even some country cannot even beat the kind of things they do there. They do innovations.
Do you think
They're
it's
just
similar to how Nigeria is on its own? Like, there are probably some states that are
doing well,
regardless of the things that we have. I was in the bus with somebody today,
I would say,
and the person mentioned that. Sorry to cut you short. The person mentioned that Lagos is a whole lot to deal with, and he was mentioning that he'd rather go to the east and things are better over there, cost of living, standard of living. So it's making me wonder that yes, we complain that Nigeria is this, but are there some states that it gets better, or is this just a Lagos thing?
No,
I mean, relating it to this your own story of California and the United States. What do you think?
I think there are some states that definitely are doing better. No, let's be for real. Okay. I mean, if you even check the revenue that they remit to the government, you see that there are some that are more than the others. So you know that there are states that are doing better. So I would give the East kudos. I'll give Lagos kudos because there are a whole lot that they are doing. I don't know about the northern area. I'm so sorry.
Ouch.
But
ouch.
No. This is not me shading anybody. This is not me saying that the northern states are not doing anything.
They are doing well, but I mean, if you look at it, the history, when there's a lot of backlogs of insecurity, of bad governance, of out-of-school children.
There's just
so I'm sure that the leaders, they are also trying their best. But sometimes I think the way this leadership thing works is that if you have plenty backlogs, even though you are trying your best, it's going to look like you are doing nothing. Yeah. And that's why our dear First Lady said that we're just 18 months. So we need to be hopeful, like I would always say.
Our president is not the problem. So we'll be all right eventually. Don't worry.
All right, let's see The Guardian. Today is for newspaper review a lot. We'll still get to our topic. So the major headline reads, football foul play. Nigeria CAF go head-to-head over Super Eagles ordeal in Libya. How Nigeria and others can reduce $4 billion regional cybercrime losses. Edo PDP files petition against result. Trades words with APC over IREV manipulation. Robotics make up beekeeping, others make new basic school curriculum. Why Tinubu's economic reforms should last 15 more years by World Bank. State in darkness as national grid collapses again. Custom extends deadline for private aircraft import duty verification. Nigeria's crude production dropped to 1.32 million BPD in September, says OPEC. So this Edo State stuff is still, I mean, PDP is not about to just fold their hands. And I was watching one interview where a major I don't know, a spokesperson in PDP. I actually know her on Instagram, Joyce Daniels. And the way she was speaking at that interview, she was, I mean, the way she was so bold, was like, we're not going to let this rest at all, at all. And I'm wondering, is it really, I don't know, I've not
heard. Is it really worth it?
No, it's not really worth it.
So, what's the
would
question?
their voices actually be heard? In the sense that elections in Nigeria we are done, result is out. Whether you have problems with it or not, you keep merry-go-round until the next 4 years, come back again. So I'm wondering, even if you're still going to be requesting, I'm filing reports, I'm taking you to court, are we going to see? I mean, remember Obi and Tinubu's own?
Yeah. You know, you see, when I hear this kind of things, or when I see things like this, it makes me want to laugh the more, because if you not hear other people, I remember there was this senator that, you know, I think from the northern area, I can't remember his name now, that said that he became poorer when he became, you know, a senator, that he was doing very well when he was still doing his business and all of that. And I remember the person interviewing him asked him, okay, so why did you not leave your job and all of this thing that was bringing you money, and you went into, you know, serving the country? And he said because he wanted to serve. So, I mean, if people have the notion of wanting to serve, I don't see a reason why you should not be taking another person that already puts in place to court and all of that. There's no need. Just stay in your house. You've been not to serve. I did not allow you to serve. Stay on your own. But it makes it. I mean, after in all of these things I've said now, you will not see that one of the reasons why they want to force themselves into power and all is because of, you know, the money they get from there, all the things that they get from there, the name, you know, the favors that come there, and all of that. So people don't just
change the norm.
Nah, I feel like most of the people, sorry,
no,
I'm being honest. Most of the people that
actually want to change the narrative.
See, if there are people that want to change the narrative, and you see that they have done all their crew, and they put another person on seat, I don't see a reason why you should be making noise. You're supposed to just go and relax. Yes.
But you are sure of what you are bringing. You're not sure of what that person is going to bring. Especially if you do not trust the process. Why not fight it?
Yes, they have already put another person there and put another person there. You should just go and rest.
That's what I'm saying. But the ones that you're doing, I don't see down.
I mean,
I've not even heard maybe foreign stories that elections where the results were annulled and then you had to go back to it again, and maybe the person that was fighting eventually not takes the seat. Over. Maybe in storybooks, but if you are bringing, you are bringing. I think that's just what it is. So that's all we have for the headline stories. Very interesting number of stories across our Nigerian newspaper. Now it's time for the hot topic for today. So whether you're a student, a teacher, a mother, a father, a parent, or a young person like us, you have to be part of this conversation because it's going to be very insightful. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll be right back with our story. Stay with us.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV.
All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We are discussing the influence of social media in education. Now, from YouTube tutorials to TikTok edutainment, social media is actually changing the way students learn and interact with knowledge. Gone are the days when education was limited to the classroom and textbooks. Today, students can access vast educational resources right at their fingertips, often guided by content creators, influencers, and online communities. But while social media presents incredible opportunities, it also comes with challenges, distraction, misinformation, and the question of whether quick bite-sized content is enough to foster deep understanding. So as we explore this dynamic topic, we're going to look at how teachers are integrating social platforms into their classroom, how students can make the most of these tools, and what the future holds for learning in this digital age. My co-anchor and I, God's Beauty, would also dive into some critical questions. Is social media a game changer or a distraction for students? Can it truly replace traditional educational settings? And what can be done to ensure that it is used responsibly? You can join our conversation, drop a comment on our YouTube platform. You can send us a message on our WhatsApp number. You can also call us and we'll be more than glad to respond to all of them. So God's Beauty,
Yes,
we're
my
talking
love.
education today. I know you're an entertainment girl, but I
Hey.
want to be serious today.
Edutainment. I mean,
Edutainment, oh, I love that
Edutainment.
mixture. So yeah, we're talking about the influence of social media and how it affects education. Education is evolving, just like every system in this world. Everything is evolving. Everything has changed from how people used to study. Sometimes when my dad is giving us, stories of his days in the 1960s, 1970s, they tell you how that in classrooms they were using slates.
Yeah.
That thing used to shock me till now. Slates. People will sit on the chair. And education, of course, was very treasured then because it was
Yeah.
just a new thing in the country. And now things now change. You see people, universities were being built. What's the oldest university in the world, Seth? In Nigeria.
That has to be.
I don't
Is
know.
it Obafemi?
Obafemi.
OAU.
Are you sure? I'm not so
I
sure. I
think
just think
so.
it's UI or UNN. I know UNILAG is not one of the oldest.
Nah.
Anyway, so we've seen education come up, and then the internet has also changed the game for educators and also the students. Now, this evolving or the evolvement of these things does not just affect one party, but both people involved in this system. That is the teachers themselves and the students. So now let's ask. The question today is not just internet, it's the growing influence of social media in education. When I saw the topic, I had to look through it again and try to understand that this is not just internet. This is now social media with education. What are social media platforms that we know? There's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's WhatsApp too. I think that's social media. Is it?
Yeah. The fact that we are able to, look for something, search for something, and it brings
On
it
WhatsApp.
out. Yeah.
Okay, the AI. that
Yes,
chatbot
AI
stuff,
generated. Yeah.
I think they always keep changing things with that
I mean,
WhatsApp. That's good. That's
No,
good. It
that's
means
how
that
it should be. I'm looking forward to a time where I can actually go live on WhatsApp. I've said this.
I think it will
I've said
happen.
this to my friends before. The fact that anybody can post anything and you can like it. You see that?
It's just
Come
a
on
new
now.
feature. I put a
Come
picture
on
on
now.
my status yesterday and
Come
I was seeing
on.
green
in
stuff.
my head, I'm like, waiting with this. But
I think
now got
WhatsApp
to-
is one
yeah.
platform that always reforms.
Yeah.
So sometimes it makes me think the people working there, is it that they're always having bright new ideas? Because that would be great.
You have
or
to.
They've had a backlog of ideas and now
Yeah.
bring them season.
So this is it. The fact that I'm not even part of the people working on Meta and all of that, but I already have an idea on what I think WhatsApp should be looking like by now, right? So this is not even something that I've talked about today. Like, if you've actually been with my number or you must have heard me say it one time.
Yeah.
I was telling my niggas and my friends, and I'm like, okay, to be honest, I'm not an Instagram sensation yet, right? But everybody on my WhatsApp, everybody literally know me on my WhatsApp status. You get what I'm
easy to
saying?
connect with WhatsApp
Yeah,
than
so
Instagram.
I feel like some days I just want to go live and talk to everybody in general.
That's why you're always disturbing us with your long.
I feel like even the voice note is just a minute. It needs to be extended a bit.
No, it doesn't.
So literally, if I'm working with people that taking care of this whole WhatsApp thing, these are my ideas.
That's the only feature in WhatsApp I don't like. that voice note thing. I feel
What?
like it's tiring.
Nah,
I
it's
don't know if
not.
seeing somebody talking and complaining.
It's not.
Or
It's
singing.
complaining. You see, me, I'm not complaining.
You are usually
I'm
singing.
I'm singing to the glory of God. Seriously.
All right, please let's stop with this. Let's go back to the question for today. Now, I want to answer the first question. Do you think social media has actually changed how students access educational resources? I know the direct answer would be yes,
Of course.
because we've been students. So tell me how your own student experience was with social media. Were you the typical textbook girl, library girl?
So I
beg a friend to teach you and then just write and submit.
No, I feel like all these things, they work hand in hand, to be honest, right? Social media is there to help. They are supposed to be like assistant. That's what AI is for.
Yeah.
You know, they're supposed to be assisting us with what we already have, right? So you cannot take away, you know, traditional schooling or traditional teaching. You cannot take away textbooks and all of these things because they are very important, actually. I mean, I can't remember how they say this now, but they will tell you that it's better to, you know, jot things down than you having to think in your head that, oh, you'll be able to retain that knowledge. So it just shows that it's important that we have those textbooks and all of that. So, I mean, in school, it was something that we used hand in hand. So there are some textbooks, I mean, there are some textbooks that when you hear the price, you tell them, don't worry, I will find the whatever, I'll find it online. I'll go and download the file that speaks to that, right? So there are times where you will need textbooks. But again, these textbooks are like something that you have to start getting other ones because, I mean, for every probably 4 years or so, curriculum changes. So there are some things that are not supposed to be in the textbook. Let me give an example. I feel like there are some topics that I treated when we were in SS1. And my sister literally did when she was in SS3. Did you get because of the change of curriculum?
On the headline story, I think Guardian or so, they said that there was a new reform for the school curriculum.
You
see?
So it always exactly. Changes. So it always change. I don't know if it's a yearly thing or it's like a 4 years kind of thing, but I mean the fact that it changed regularly. So it just where we now need the aid of, you know, social media. Yeah. So for, you know, checking out, okay, what's the latest things. I remember when I was teaching, right? And we had textbooks, but again, it's not every time that the school gets you new textbooks, right? So even when there's a change of curriculum, there's a change in curriculum and all of that, the topic that you would want to treat is probably not in the textbook. So what do you have to do? You have to form your lesson notes using technology, using social media. You go online, you check what's the new curriculum, what the topic says, how you should be explained and all of these things, the evaluations and all of that. And then you form your notes and you teach the children. Yeah. So I think social media is just there to help you. I mean, when you leverage on social media, it just helps you know what is even going on right now, what is supposed to be taught to the students and all of that. Again, I feel like there are even some words that, I mean, when we are like pretty small, we consider, okay, let me even use this simple one. Almost everybody, when we were growing up, I remember having a conversation with somebody and we were like, beans is protein. We felt like beans had, I mean, the protein in it was a very high amount. It's now that we get to know, thanks to our Proco doctor on social media, right, that we now get to understand that, oh, I mean, beans has more carbohydrates than protein itself. But when we are little, our teachers taught us that it's protein. Me too, I go and teach all the children that it's protein. Because literally, that's what we were taught. Yeah. Do you understand? But social media now has helped us with that. And there's just a lot of things that need to be, you know, be worked on. I was speaking to that person. But with social media, it will just help us more. So, yeah.
I'd say, I mean, I'm just like a very fresh out of school. Out of school sounds somehow. Please don't. A fresh graduate of the university, and I'd say my university experience was cool. I had help from, I leveraged on networking with people to really help me with my studies, learning with my friends. I had this 5 group of girls that we always learn our work together, and social media helped. Now, one major platform I'm going to pick out would be YouTube. Honestly, YouTube was a hack I discovered in 200 level second semester. That means in 100 level first, second, 200 level first. I was just going to the library, reading some books, reading my notes, reading the textbooks that they send or PDFs. I did not use YouTube until I stayed with one of my sisters in 200 level in Amina Hostel. And then she's a science person, so I mean, if you're in Faculty of Science, honestly, you need YouTube for many of the explanations. So she was always using YouTube. I'm like, okay, what is this YouTube for? I mean, because honestly, if there's a kind of phone you'll be using that your social media is restricted because of, let me not mention some certain details, but you understand. So I said, okay, let me even try using YouTube to learn. And I'll say it made a difference because it gave me different kind of examples to things I wanted to explain. So the course of study I did needed you to really have very illustrative examples. And so these online teachers on YouTube, except the Indian ones that
to be honest,
always usually, please, what are you saying? But they're actually very knowledgeable. Yeah, it's just that the accent sometimes makes me wonder. I really can't hear what you're saying, except I turn on the caption stuff and try to just get it. But I like to enjoy the person that is teaching me. So I remember there was this course I was doing in, I was one psychoanalysis course like that. I've forgotten the course title. I really forgot. I think it's Theories of Personality. And so we're doing this Sigmund Freud stuff and all of that. So the examples that he gave, in fact, there was one example that my lecturer did not give. But this, I saw it on YouTube, and I felt like, I'm going to have an edge over everybody. But guess what? I did not. That's the saddest part of this thing, because I was like, oh, this feels like a very fresh information. This iceberg analogy is going to make me have an A in this personality
Other
course.
people already know it already.
I don't think that's the case. I think probably the lecturer did not fancy my I too know.
Oh, shoot.
That was another. Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Because some of these lecturers, now let me give you another side to this story.
Tell me.
Some of these lecturers in some universities, there's this rigid way that they teach. I mean, if you see them come to class with their file that is so old, you will know that this person has been using this thing to teach. I brought it into this for some. I brought it into this for some. That I took 2 extra sheets. Like, I literally drew the diagrams for you. I'll be the one in the hall with pencil. Nobody is drawing any diagram to give some vivid illustration, but it didn't work. But however, he helped me understand some concepts better. I always remember that iceberg analogy to understand psychoanalysis and by Sigmund Freud. I hope I'm right so that people will not come for me. But that's actually it. So I'd say that social media helped me. And the social media I'm talking of is YouTube. Not TikTok, not Instagram. There was nothing.
TikTok did not help you.
How did it help me?
Let me not
TikTok,
crack that joke, but go on.
Maybe TikTok will help you like relieve stress of reading too much. But so when I'm looking at the topic, the influence of social media, I'm trying to like question the topic. Is it all social media that are actually very helpful? Or what exactly are we even going to call this social media? Because it was only YouTube that was helpful, and then probably some other online courses or stuff that you get to read and see and all of that. You want to say something?
I feel like all social media platforms are actually helpful.
For
so
your course of study.
It depends on what you're learning. It depends on what exactly you want to learn.
Maybe my algorithm was just bringing dance challenge and hair challenge.
You talked about the fact that social media, YouTube specifically, right, has helped you over time. When I was in school, YouTube was something that I didn't want to even go on. I don't think there was any time that I sat down to go and come and watch somebody that's now explaining to me what the 1999 Constitution as amended is talking about. No. But again, because of the kind of course I was taking, right, it makes you have to go and read. It's either you read or you do not read. That's 2 things.
Yes.
So it's either you're going to read, understand that section 358 of the criminal law is talking about rape, right? So you have to go and read. You get? You are going to go and watch somebody that is already explaining what the lecturer explained to you on your own, because I mean those sections will not stick into your head. Chapter 1 of the Constitution, you will not understand it. No matter how many times you watch on YouTube. You have to go and read. So I think it depends on the course. Now, talking about all social media, also, I feel like all social media platform has something to actually teach you, right? Go on YouTube. You can learn anything from law down to whatever course that you're taking. You go on, what's the name now, TikTok. If you are probably a person that is into culinary, into cooking and all of that, and probably somebody is teaching you
so how many
3 ways or 4 ways.
I want you to relate it to ourselves.
Okay,
like, how do you think law could have been useful?
I'm talking about learning now, in general, right? Okay. You learn anywhere. That's what I'm saying. So you cannot just take out other social media platforms because you feel like, okay, the only things they do there is not education based. What I'm saying now is you can learn anywhere. And all social media platforms, there's every leverage of you understanding certain things that you don't have, that you have an issue with. Do you get what I'm saying? On Instagram, there's somebody somewhere that's teaching you about diction. I mean, there are some words that I can pronounce now that I learned on Instagram. I didn't need to go to it. There was no need for me going to YouTube to go and learn that.
Does that too.
Please
check her out.
So same goes to TikTok as well. There are some things that you can learn there. Me, I'm just saying that you cannot just take out all other social media platforms because you feel like only YouTube, has better potentials of teaching you other stuffs.
All right, but I'll still go with my claims because I'm trying to relate it to what I saw firsthand. TikTok and Instagram, it was just to chill. It was probably to sell your business if you have something to sell in school. But if you want some explanations, it's on YouTube.